Today is a weather alert day in northwest Arkansas. We have storms on the way for later this evening into the late night hours. We have a full update at what to expect here at 10 a.m., the time of recording. We do have an update from the Storm Prediction Center coming within the next hour, but we wanted to, in the meantime, let you know what to expect or what we're currently looking at here in northwest Arkansas. So let's look at what is going on with the latest Storm Prediction Center outlook as of 10 a.m. before the update later on in the morning in the next hour or so from the time of recording. We do have an enhanced risk across portions of extreme northwest Benton County. Doesn't quite include areas of Washington County or all the way into the River Valley, but there is pretty much a slight 2 out of 5 risk for all of our coverage area here in northwest Arkansas into the River Valley that we're keeping a close eye on. Let's go into the individual risks. We do have a tornado risk for today. The greater the risk is going to be further to the northwest, but that doesn't mean that we won't see the potential for tornadoes here in northwest Arkansas in the River Valley. Pretty much all of our coverage area has a low tornado risk for today. Let's move on to the hail risk once again. Hail and damaging winds look to be the primary risk today, as we do have a significant hashed area for this. I'll show you that here in just a second, but a 30% chance from the Storm Prediction Center. That's fairly high. That's enhanced levels for the risk of hail further to the northwest, but we are still in a pretty good hail risk and wind risk across northwest Arkansas for today and tonight. So here's a look at that significant hashed area, and the Storm Prediction Center usually issues that when there's a potential for hail between golf ball to tennis ball, even baseball size or larger hail. So we're thinking tennis ball to baseball size is possible within the significant hashed area, especially closer to the Tulsa area, where models are all in agreement that there could be some isolated supercells out there later today. So here's a look at timing. We do have that yellow shaded area for portions of our northwestern counties. That's going to be a little bit earlier by about 2 hours that the window for storms to begin. That's going to be between 3 and 11 o'clock tonight. And then we have the broader timeline for storms, and that's going to be between 5 o'clock to this afternoon into 2 a.m. tonight. Areas you see in the red shaded area are where we're predicting the greatest isolated tornado and large damaging hail risk will be, just because there's the potential for any sort of additional supercells that fire up ahead of the main complex, and then there could be more discrete activity in the afternoon, and that's where we're going to be highlighting that risk for the greater risk for large hail damaging winds and even an isolated tornado. So keeping a close eye on that. Moving on, here's a look at our futurecast radars. You can see 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock tonight. Those storms move through. Any of these discrete cells would be capable of that isolated tornado risk, large damaging hail risk there as well. And then storms will start to push out closer to 1 a.m., 2 a.m. tonight, but that doesn't mean that we are completely done. After that, we could see some wraparound precipitation into the early morning hours. Some of those are not going to be quite as severe as the initial round, but there could still be some gusty winds, maybe even some marginally severe hail with the wraparound activity. But looks like the main severe activity really is going to be between 5 in the afternoon to about 2 or 3 a.m. tonight. Moving on, here's a look at one of our exclusive tools here. This is our Futurecast updraft tracks, and this is where we're showing the potential for severe updrafts. And as you can see, there's a fairly good amount of these updrafts in coverage across the area. So we want you to be alert today. Not everyone's going to see this severe weather or the intense severe weather, but it is a risk that you need to be aware of. Make sure that you have mobile apps that you trust that can give you the alerts as quickly as possible. Make sure that you have multiple ways to receive alerts. If you have a NOAA weather radio, make sure that you change those batteries, just because you're probably going to need it in the overnight hours before you go to bed. Make sure that you have those ways to receive alerts. Not everyone's going to see severe weather, but there is a pretty good opportunity across the area that some of us could see some severe weather. Some could be more significant, with that potential for 2 to 2.5 inch hail, damaging winds 60, 75 miles an hour, and maybe even an isolated tornado. So we just want you to be aware of the risk, have ways to receive alerts, and stay weather alert throughout the day. Stay tuned for updates right here with Weather 225, Fayetteville, Arkansas.